Alrighty, one more time. It's more EQ. All right, so one of the ways that I learned how to EQ, probably the thing that helped me the most, was I was doing a session one time, and I've been recording for a while already, and uh, um, this woman came in. I was working with it was basically a classical pianist, and she came in, and she had a recording that she needed to do that she had to finish. Basically, it was like a one piece. Let's say it was a Mozart. I can't even remember what it was. This is Mozart, a 3 movement thing, right? And she played movement 1 and 2 at a different studio. She recorded it at a different studio in California. She moved to Austin, and she needed to do movement number 3. The problem with that is movement 3 is being recorded at a completely different studio with completely different mics on a completely different piano. And so what I had to do is, so it didn't sound like 2 completely different recordings, which would sound bizarre. What I had to do is I had to actually listen to. I tried to record her as close as I possibly could to the sound that was from California, right? But once I started mixing, I had to EQ the recording that I made to make it sound like their recording, right? So I had to match it, and that was hard. Uh, and But man, it took me a long time. But man, I certainly learned a lot about EQ. And so what I've got up here on this this Pro Tools session is a good thing and a bad thing, right? So this one right up here is the good, sort of good, pretty good. Right? And so here's the bad one. I'm going to change this. No, I won't. No, I won't do it right now. But anyway, so this green one's the bad one, right? So we've already heard this, but oh, I've got the wrong session up. Oh no, I already EQ'd it. Look at that. There we go. That's why it sounded the same. There we go. That sounds terrible, right? So the idea here is to make the green one sound like the blue one, right? So we kind of went over that already, but let's take a look here. I'm just going to use the one that came with Pro Tools. You guys use whatever you have, right? Again, that zip file, there's 2 zip files. One is a session for those of you who have Pro Tools already. The other zip file is for those of you who don't have Pro Tools. Now this can be done, of course, with any DAW. All the files are there. I'm going to show you. Actually, I might as well show you here right now. Come over here. That thing here. Let me scoot it over here, right? And so if we take a look, here it is, right? EQ lesson, right? No Pro Tools, right? Those are the audio files. Look at them, right? So those are all the same things that we've got in this session, right? And so you just take those files, import them into your DAW, and then kind of organize. They should be organized pretty well, just the way that it is. I've named them kind of that way, so they would show up organized. So just bring them in and EQ them. You could even do this with GarageBand or Fruity Loops or anything, right? So this is just about getting practice, right? And so there it is. Right? So what I need to do is go through here and figure out how to make the green one sound like the blue one, right? So we did this already, but check it out. So I'm going to do the thing here. I'm going to actually turn it down, right? I'm going to move it over here, right? And I'm going to sweep it until that annoying thing. Actually, let's talk about a couple of things here. How should you? There's a couple of things here. One of the things is I get, students ask me, well, I don't really know what a good snare drum sounds like, or I don't know what a good kick drum sounds like. I don't know anything about guitar. How do I know what a good guitar sounds like? Well, you could find one, right? Find some famous, I don't know, guitar player. Who's a good guitar player? I don't know. Jimi Hendrix, right? Somebody like that, right? And if you don't know, ask. Like for example, let's say you've been asked to record gamelan, and you you don't know what a gamelan. You don't even know what a gamelan sounds like, or even looks like, for that matter, right? And so, what should you do before you go record? Maybe go listen to some gamelan, right? And so, again, not knowing anything about gamelan, you don't even know where to go to find a good recording of a gamelan, right? And so, what you would do is go ask the artist, right? What you're not going to do is say, what are some good gamelan recordings that I can, because you're going to lose their confidence, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to come up to them and you're going to say something like, so who are your favorite gamelan performers, right? Say something like that, and then they'll tell you. Or of course, you might even like go into it even a little bit slower, but eventually you're going to ask them, who are your favorite gamelan artists? And then they're going to tell you, and then you can go find those, easy enough to find, I'm sure, YouTube or wherever, and go listen. And then what you're going to try to do is match your gamelan recording to their gamelan recording, right? To the good one. It's always good to have a reference, right? And so what here we have is, and for this particular one, the blue track is the reference, and the green one is the one that sucks, and we got to make the green one sound like the blue one, right? This could be gamelan. Sweeping it up. Still there, annoying, still there. Okay, so now it's starting to come back, right? So it was still there, and I kept sweeping it. Kind of the badness went away, the ugliness went away, right? And then it started to come back as I went a little bit too far. So now I'm just going to bring it back. I'm going to adjust that cue. Maybe I can make it sound a little bit better. There we go. Yeah. So that's kind of how I do it, right? Let's do it the other way, right? The sort of, again, I'm going to hold the Option down. Again, pardon me for looking at the other screen. I'm going to bring all this, I'm going to boost it really high like this, right? Seek and destroy kind of thing, right? Now I'm going to narrow the cue a little bit here. Again, I'm looking for the ugliness, right? Ouch! That hurt. Somewhere in there, right? So I'm going to pull it down, widen that cue a little bit, right? Oh! There we go. Right? Is that making sense? I hope it does. And then, of course, there's the old, let's try it with the old Pro Tools way. Again, pretty much most DAWs or plugins, for that matter, will have some sort of seek and destroy function, right? Again, Pro Tools is if you hold Control and Shift down together, right, and you sweep, right, you could find it. By the way, guess what that is? That's a bandpass filter, right? And what we're doing is we're hoping to allow the terrible sounds to pass and gets rid of all the good stuff, right? That we can find it easy. Here we go. Here we go. Ouch. somewhere in there, right? So I'll just pull it back. Let's see how close I got to that. This is the blue. Uh-oh. Here we go. That's a blue track. Here's the green track. Pretty close. Yeah, you guys with me here, right? Let's take a listen to this guy right here. Not too bad. So let's go through there and let's listen to this guy here. Oh, terrible. So I'm thinking that I'm not going to use a peak dip. I'm thinking a shelf would probably work, right? Because it's really only the low end that's just kind of muddy. Now, a couple of things here. It's kind of muddy, so some people might hear this and go, it needs more highs. Other people would say it needs less lows. It kind of means the same thing, right? Whenever you can, I suggest that you turn down stuff that you don't like rather than turn up stuff that you do like, right? So that's especially true for live sound, because you're going to end up, if you start boosting stuff in live sound, you're going to increase the chances that you get feedback, right? It's not that important in the studio, but I would get into the habit of getting rid of the stuff you don't like, right? So the way I kind of look at EQ is, I look at EQ as, first and foremost, I got to get rid of stuff that's annoying, right? Or stuff that's getting in the way of other things, like the bass guitar, the frequency of the bass guitar covering up the kick drum, things like that, right? And so what I want to do is get rid of the problems, and then I can go in and think about enhancing things, right? So getting rid of the problems is turning the bad frequencies down, and enhancing is typically adding a little bit of turning up stuff that I like, right? That's sort of how I look at it. Again, live sound, maybe not so much, right? But in the studio, I can get away with a lot more stuff. Anyway, let's get rid of that bad stuff. I'm thinking, and I might be wrong, but I'm thinking this, oops, not that one. This, actually, let's try this filter. Yeah, it's a filter. Let's try that, right? And again, I'm going to pull it all the way down. And let's see how this works. That's easy, right? Let me turn that. Let's compare. Ooh, that's pretty close. Not quite there, but maybe I just need to turn this up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Oops. There we go. All right. Maybe I add a little bit more. Very close, right? So a filter can do a lot, right? So where should I go? Where should I put that? Filter. Well, I was just listening to it. Of course, you could always go to that EQ chart that it was on that other video, right? You can kind of look, okay, where's the boom, or where's the the warmth and that sort of stuff, right? Let's take a look at this guy down here, the bass. I worked with this producer that would always say, bass. Here we go. Let's listen to this other bass down here. This actually doesn't sound too bad, but Let's try to tame that a little bit, right? So again, just a one band EQ. Oftentimes, one band is all you really need, right? I'm going to use a shelving. I'm going to try shelving first, right? So I'm not sure what frequency that would be, so I'm just going to bring it all the way down. All right, so turning down my volume there. Sweep it up. Let's listen. Oops. Ooh. Yeah, not quite, right? Mine's not nearly as boomy as it was. But the other one has got some cool stuff in there, right? So rather than doing this right here, right, I'm going to use, let me try a peak dip, because maybe I'm getting rid of too much. This purple one actually has some low end. The one below, the one that's soloed right now, it has too much of everything, right? Too much, I don't know. Again, I'm just trying, right? So let me try this here. I'm going to go use, a peak dip right here. And again, I'm just going to sweep it around, right? Pull it down a little bit. Let's try that, all right? So I think I've got something close. Let's try it. Okay, so mine needs to be turned up a little bit. I don't know. There we go. This one still has a cool thing in the high mids, right? So maybe my cue is just too wide. Let me narrow that up. There we go. It's taking away too much of the lows and it's taking too much of the higher mids, right? Let's try that. Not quite, but okay. So then I'm going to add a little bit of high mids. I should call some mids. Let's just say mids. Okay, let's do that. Here we go. There we go. Close. There we go. There we go. You guys with me? All right, so just a little bit of farting around. All right. Let's try this beat here. What's wrong with this beat? Here's a beat. By the way, I got all these from GarageBand, most of them from GarageBand. Okay. What's the difference there? There we go. Seems like the one on the bottom is just missing some low end, right? That should be easy enough fix, right? One band EQ. I'm not sure where I'm going to boost it, but here we go. All right. Again, I'm going to pick a shelving. Right? Sweep it. listen. Yeah. Is that making sense? Really important to compare, right? Again, this is kind of, there's a good one and a bad one, and they're both the same thing. But again, find a recording of whatever gamelan, right? Find a good recording of gamelan, and make your recording of the gamelan sound like the good one, right? Put them next to each other like this here, right? Let's move on to, let's do these kicks, right? Here's a regular kick. Let's listen to, here, regular kick. Here we go. Here's a good kick. I'm not sure. Ooh, yeah. By the way, I'm hoping you guys are listening on decent headphones, or decent speakers for that matter. Drive your roommate or parent or wife or husband or whoever, girlfriend or boyfriend, drive them crazy. Let's listen to bad kick. It's pretty darn bad. So how are we going to do that? That one's going to be rough. How are we going to make that one sound like this one? All right. Let's give it a shot. Now I'm tempted to use the fab filter, but that would be cheating. So let's just use this. Let's just use this guy here. I'll use this 7-band. I think it needs a shelving, right? So it's already on shelf, right? Turn it up. Ooh. Now that's actually a lot better, but I think maybe it's a little bit too high. The boost is too high. So let me move it down. Let me go listen to this guy. Listen to good kick. There's that. Let's put that on this guy right here. Let's do a seek and destroy, right? So. That. Yeah, let me make this a little bit narrower. That's not the one I wanted. Yeah. That. There we go. There we go. Let's do this one here. Good kick. Ooh. This one down, the green one needs a little bit more high end, right? So a shelf will probably work fine for that. That's this guy right here. Let's turn it up, see what happens. Let me move the frequency down some. There we go. Let's see what happens. The frequency needs to come a little bit further down. There we go. Not quite, but this one actually sounds a little bit. There we go. Kind of sounds better than good kick. Right. And how about snare? Let's go back down here. All right, snare. Let's listen to these snares. Regular snare. All right, good snare. Bad snare. Bad snare too. There's lots of bad snares. I'll let you guys work on that one. I hope you guys are catching what's going on here, right? Cool. We can talk about it in class too, right? So we're gonna have class regular time, 6 o'clock. I'm gonna send you guys a Google Meet invitation, and I'll see you guys there. All right? Anyway, I'm gonna pull up the next video is gonna be, I'm gonna pull up a session. It's gonna be drums. I'll show you what to do there. All right. All right. See you soon.